One Zambia, One Nation. Thank you so much for joining us on this bulletin of Zanis News. To present it, I'm Michelle Olwinda. The headlines: 4 South hospitals in medical equipment boost. Lundazi Bridge construction completed. Nsama beef farmers appeal for market linkages. And Luampa district receives farming inputs. The news in detail. A delegation from Qatar is in the country to explore investment opportunities. The Qatar delegation is being led by its head of the Qatar Investment Authority for Africa, Middle East and Asia, Sheikh Faisal Bin. Speaking when the delegation called on President Hakainde Hichilema at State House, Mr. Bin said Qatar wants to explore areas of common interest with Zambia, especially in the areas of energy, mining, agriculture, and hospitality. Mr. Bin further announced that while in Zambia, his team is expected to sign investment promotion and protection agreements with the Zambia Development Agency, ZDA, in some specific areas of interest. And in response, President Hichilema has called for an action plan to fast-track the implementation of some agreements being signed. President Hichilema assured the Qatar delegation that Zambia is endowed with various opportunities which can be considered for investment. Later, the Zambian head of state met another delegation from Mamba Collieries, who informed him that the country is in need of about $300 million United States dollars to enable it to successfully embark on Phase 2 expansion program. And Mamba Collieries resident director Ashok Divine says once the expansion is effected, the company is expected to increase its power generation by an additional 300 megawatts. The meeting was also attended by Energy Minister Peter Kapala.
We have a resource endowment that we believe is beneficial to Qatar, to Zambia, to Africa, to the world, and we need this resource endowment managed properly and not spoiled, not in a haphazard manner. And which country would we seek to work with in the exploitation of this resource endowment other than countries like yours, who have come from a background where before your oil and gas came on stream, you probably went through quite a slow time as a country, but over years you've been able to exploit your resource endowment in a very responsible manner.
It has shifted the mindset from Europe versus Africa, or US versus Africa, to Africa versus Africa.
And World Vision Zambia has provided medical equipment and supplies to 4 major hospitals in Southern Province, valued at over 115,000 United States dollars. The equipment includes electrocardiogram machines, specimen containers, orthopedics, appliances, and face shields. Chimunya Nalumpa reports that the equipment will be distributed to Livingstone Central Hospital, Choma and Mamba General Hospitals, as well as Mazabuka District Hospital.
Equipping health facilities with essential drugs and medical tools to facilitate provision of quality healthcare services has remained priority for government and other stakeholders in the health sector. World Vision Zambia has now come on board with a donation of medical equipment and supplies to 4 hospitals in Southern Province.
We gather here today to mark the handover of essential medical equipment and supplies to 4 major hospitals in Southern Province to a tune of 119,958 US dollars. World Vision hands over these provisions. We do so with the utmost trust in the capacity and the dedication of the Provincial Medical Office to distribute these resources judiciously and efficiently.
Southern Province Clinical Care Specialist Dr. Clive Banda received the equipment on behalf of Provincial Health Office.
This equipment that we have received and the consumables will be guarded jealously. We will take care of them because we realize the cost that is attached to this equipment. We have a very strong system of ensuring that the equipment is serviced on time for it to be running and really provide the coverage that is required in our various hospitals.
Mazabuka, Choma, Mamba and Livingstone hospitals are the benefiting facilities. And Choma General Hospital Medical Superintendent Dr. Ambrose Monga represented the benefiting facilities.
Your consideration in this partnership that you have rendered to the public sector, and it is a good show of what is professed as the shared responsibility towards the universal coverage of health, and also to just ensure that everyone is being covered.
Nchumunya Nalumpa, Zanis, in Choma, Southern Province.
Meanwhile, malaria control interventions have been scaled up in Chelenge and Mwense districts in Luapula Province. Provincial Health Administration says the distribution of the health center kits by the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, will impact positively in controlling the disease in the region. Pethias Mutale filed in this report.
Chelenge and Mwense districts in Luapula Province are some of the areas with the highest prevalence of malaria due to their proximity to water bodies and swamps, which are dwelling places for mosquitoes.
So when you talk of the prevalence of malaria, patients for malaria, you may find that we are over 70% prevalence rate.
But people here have described going to the health facilities as a nightmare, as they are always greeted by prescriptions from health officials.
twatafenga twaisa pa kliniki au kubwekera fyo kuwabula pa fyo mutinangu mbati ulwele kuti bansanga tini kwata malaria kuti bansanga ni kwata ulwele buli bozi.
We lost interest coming to the hospital because whenever we came here we were told to go and buy our own medicine with our own money. But the situation is no longer the same,
as government through ZAMSA has distributed medicines in all health facilities in Mwense and in Chelenge districts.
I was not feeling well. I was sneezing and coughing. That's the reason I came here to the hospital, and I've been given medicine. I'm happy.
Especially to our mother and MCH, because previously it was in shortage. We were actually giving almost the folic, but this one was missing. So through the coming of this one, those with it's helped to boost the blood to those mothers with anemia or low blood. Then this one is dextrose. In terms of those who are hypoglycemic, this one we give them. Those who are on quinine injection, this one is also needed for to boost it.
We are thankful to the government. We used to struggle with medicines at our health facility, but now the government has brought medicine.
Pethias Mutale for Zanis News in Chelenge, Luapula Province.
Meanwhile, people from different parts of the country are undergoing screening for the various cardiac conditions at Morning Star Clinic in Lusaka by cardiologists from the United States. The team is in the country to conduct free cardiac screening. Jens Malumba caught up with the team and now reports.
People from different parts of the country have continued to visit the Morning Star Clinic to get themselves checked for different cardiac conditions. A group of cardiologists from the United States of America have been conducting free cardiac screening exercises such as heart failure and pulmonary hypertension, among others. Patients who have been screened are happy for the opportunity and have urged the team of cardiologists to conduct more screening exercises.
We have doctors from the USA who are conducting cardiac screening, and the exercise has been successful.
USA cardiologist Dr. Sula Mazimba says over 100 patients have so far been screened.
Well, we've been doing cardiac screening. We've been doing screening for cardiovascular diseases for patients who have advanced heart diseases. We've also been doing some skill transfer, training our colleagues from National Heart in terms of performing certain procedures. Yes, we've screened about over 100 patients over the last few days, and we found some patients who have some needs for specific interventions. And we'll be coming back in October and we'll be doing procedures there at National Heart Hospital, where we hope that we can relieve some of the medical or cardiac conditions that some of our patients have that we've seen here.
Dr. Mazimba has since appealed to Zambians to be undertaking cardiac checkups regularly.
Patients should be checked often, and if they have symptoms, shortness of breath, chest pains, maybe feeling very tired easily. Those are some of the symptoms, early symptoms of heart conditions. And sometimes patients just, blow them away and say, well, I'm just tired, or maybe it's just something that will go away. It's always important to be able to have those symptoms checked. And if there's a condition that has that can be treated, we can always make plans to treat those conditions.
Jane Simalomba, Zanis, in Lusaka.
Now, First Lady Mutinta Hichilema has commended Merck Foundation for providing specialty training to 126 Zambian doctors in various fields. Mrs. Hichilema says the development will transform the delivery of healthcare services in the country. Lakson Makosa gives us the details.
First Lady Mutinta Hichilema says the partnership entered between her office and Merck Foundation is yielding desired results. Mrs. Hichilema cited specialized training offered to 126 local doctors to enhance delivery of healthcare services in the country and the supporting of 21 girls with scholarships as some of the achievements attained through the joint partnership. The First Lady was speaking during the Merck Foundation Zambia Alumni Summit in Lusaka.
It gives me great pleasure to share with you all that through this long-term partnership, Merck Foundation has provided 126 scholarships for our local doctors in 39 critical specialties to be our future healthcare experts in many health-related fields. I consider this impact a great milestone to transform patient care landscape in Zambia.
And commenting on the girl child education, Mrs. Hichilema said there is need to support the girl child as they are often victims of vices such as early marriages.
I'm happy to share with you all that so far we have provided 21 girls with scholarships to cover their tuition fees of nursing and health sciences in colleges and universities. This scholarship will continue till they complete their education successfully.
Merck Foundation Chief Executive Officer, Senator Rash Kadiji, saluted the First Lady for her passion towards the girl child education and promotion of health.
You are lucky to have Her Excellency with you, and how she is very dedicated to these programs and to make new things for you that have an impact and legacy. So it's very important that we are working with her. She's very dear to us as a long-term partner, and every year we will have a more celebration and more milestones.
The Ministry of Health reaffirmed commitment to offering quality and cost-effective healthcare services to Zambia.
Ministry of Health will remain committed to offer quality and cost-effective health services to the Zambian population. Making the essential healthcare services available to all Zambian people requires, amongst other things, better availability of facilities such as equipment, personnel, and medicines.
At the same event, the First Lady was honored with a recognition award as ambassador for Mika Foundation. Reporting for Zanis, I'm Lakson Makodza.
We take a break, and when we come back, Lundazi Bridge construction completed. Stay tuned.
Hello, it's time for you to know your rights. For ignorance of the law is no defense.
People should report any case of gender-based violence to the police. They should not be tempted to compromise the cases, because compromising a case of gender-based violence is actually an offense.
Zambia, like any other country, has got laws that govern the welfare of its citizens.
We provide some check, some oversight on the police service.
When an officer misconducts himself, he's alone. One person being beaten is enough for the commission to move. The Constitution tells us that the people of Zambia must enjoy their liberties.
Every week on Thursday at 19:30 hours, the Zambia News and Information Services, Zanis, brings to your screens a program dubbed Police and the Community.
If we, the police, and you, member of the public, will work together, because the common enemy we have before us is the criminal.
Catch Zanis TV on Channel 6 DTT and Channel 458 DTH. Zanis TV, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. Lundazi Town Council Chairperson Gordon Tembo says the completion of the Lundazi Bridge will ease movement for residents who have been facing challenges to access social amenities. The 360 million kwacha bridge was being constructed under the emergency maintenance project of the 90 kilometers Chipata-Lundazi Road, which includes the construction of Musuzi Bridge. Lubasi Mtafela was on the site and now reports.
The long-awaited construction project of the Lundazi Bridge has finally been completed and opened for use to the public. The completion of this project, whose work started in 2021, has put a smile on the face of the people of Lundazi, who had lost hope over the bridge ever being completed.
Yeah, we suffered for a long time because of the bridge, this bridge which was down, but we had to go a long way to Lundazi, but to use the diversion which was made. But now we're happy because we have the bridge and we're able to get to Lundazi in the shortest possible time.
More than happy. And even the way the finishing, the way it's looking, it looks to be quite modern, unlike the one which was there before. So at least we are happy with the government.
Mbeba, another resident of Lundazi, is impressed with the quality of works and the installation of the solar lights here.
But when Hakainde came into power, it didn't take much. It's very soon, very quickly, he looked into it and prioritized this bridge. It has been given a very beautiful face, more beautiful than what it used to look like before.
Meanwhile, Lundazi Town Council Chairperson Gordon Tembo is happy with the completion of the bridge, which will ease mobility among the people of Lundazi, who had been facing challenges in accessing social amenities.
We are very much excited as Lundazi residents for the great works that the government has done on the Lundazi Bridge and, of course, the Msuzi Bridge. It has been a cry for our people here. Lundazi is a very big district and we are not isolated. So this Lundazi Chipata Road is very key. And for us to go this other side, Chipata, Lusaka and so on, we need to pass through Lundazi Bridge. And we also have important government institutions that are after the Lundazi Bridge, which is the new district hospital and other very important township areas.
The bridge was washed away in 2020 following the continued flash floods that was experienced in the district. For Zanis in Lundazi district, I'm Lubasi Mtafela.
And on the business segment, the commissioning of the Mwami Muchinji one-stop border post between Zambia and Malawi has improved business activities in the border town of Chipata. The business community is happy that the facility has eased movement of goods, services and people, thereby fostering trade integration between the two countries. More in the following report. Improved soft and hardware infrastructure at entry points is key towards enhancing trade facilitation among small-scale cross-border traders and other entry point users. It is for this reason that the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, with support from the European Union, is implementing the Zambia Border Post Upgrade Project, aimed at enhancing the border post management system to ease border movements that will foster economic and regional integration. Mwami Muchinji border post between Zambia and Malawi is a beneficiary of the program through its one-stop border post and has improved the business environment.
Province that this facility is now fully operational from the time that it was commissioned by the two heads of state, that is the head of state of Zambia and the head of state of Malawi. As a business community, we want to understand the coming of this facility in the context of what the overall business environment is supposed to be in terms of the regional economic environment. That is to do with the business that takes place between Zambia, Malawi and Mozambique. As you may well know, there has been efforts in the past to have what is called the growth triangle, and this growth triangle was supposed to be a facility to enhance the conduct of business across borders.
The one-stop border post was commissioned last year in December, and Chipata City is already reaping positive results through increased revenue collection as a result of improved business activities.
With the coming in of the same, we've seen an increased revenue on the part of the council. There has been, because people are able to trade more, so because they're able to trade more, the council is able to collect more revenue at the at the border. And we are also making progress in just merging with ZRA so that ZRA can collect council revenue on our part, so that we reduce the various points of people that needs to really interact with a trader at the border.
The upgrade of the Mwami Muchinji border is also aimed at reducing clearance time and costs for passengers and goods processing in order to improve efficiency of services offered by the border agencies.
Previously, we used to face a lot of challenges. For example, I have some goods, I'm taking goods to Malawi. Meaning, in Zambian side, I'll be there sometimes more than 3 hours. Then from there, I go to Malawian side. It will also take me another 3 hours. So because of that, it was something which was making a trader to have some challenges. A trader is very much concerned where time is.
Michelo Lubinda for Zanis in Chipata, Eastern Province. Still in the news, newly appointed Zambia Compulsory Standards Board Chairperson Ian Mpeta says the agency will ensure compliance on compulsory standards through production of high-quality products. Mr. Mpeta said this when he toured Chirundu one-stop border post to appreciate the operational challenges faced by Zambian border agencies. Here is a report.
Chirundu border, located between Zimbabwe and Zambia, is one of the busiest one-stop border posts in the country, which handles hundreds of trucks per day. Through Chirundu border, which operates on the concept of one-stop border post, the facility is an important trade facilitation tool in enhancing the smooth flow of traffic and collection of both tax and non-tax revenue across the border for the two countries. The Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency Board has been taken on a conducted tour of the Chirundu one-stop border post for an on-spot inspection of revenue enhancement prospects available at the facility in order to appreciate the operation of Zambian border agencies.
So this one-stop border post is a very famous one-stop border post because it was the first one-stop border post in Africa. The president has been talking about a no-stop border post. So we have moved from two-stop to one-stop, but now the president is saying it should be no stop at the border. What that means is that we should now use technology to make sure that all the clearance processes must be done before trucks arrive here, such that as a truck is coming at the gate there, we can even use scanners to ensure that all the clearance processes, to check that the clearance processes have been dealt with, such that that truck does not need to stop at the border. So I think that is for the future.
As for Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency Board, providing strategic direction for the management and promoting a vibrant industry that is compliant with compulsory standards that meet the expectations of consumers remains its guiding principle.
Process of orientation, which is extremely very important for us, just to appreciate the environment in which we are operating in. Obviously, we need to appreciate the challenges as well, so that we see how we can do things together and ensure we move in unison to ensure that ZCSA is far much better than the planet. In our first board meeting, was it the second one, we appointed Mr. Gerard Chizinga as the executive director, and I think it's apparent for all of us to ensure that we give him all the support so that together we move ZCSA. I think we shall be meeting time and again, but let's do it together.
So this one-stop border post is a very famous one-stop border post because it was the first one-stop border post in Africa. The president has been talking about a no-stop border post. So we have moved from two-stop to one-stop, but now the president is saying it should be no stop at the border. What that means is that we should now use technology to make sure that all the clearance processes must be done before trucks arrive here, such that as a truck is coming at the gate there, we can even use scanners to ensure that all the clearance processes, to check that the clearance processes have been dealt with, such that that truck does not need to stop at the border. So I think that is for the future.
We can increase the scope of the compulsory standards. We can actually reduce our fees, which is the cry of the private sector. I think not too long ago, we had even made an application for SMEs to have their own fees, because it's true, our fees are very, very high.
The newly appointed Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency Board has embarked on a familiarization tour of its southern province offices in Chirundu, Choma, and Livingstone, respectively. Zanis reports in Chirundu District, Southern Province.
And Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development, Elias Mubanga, has launched the SME Capacity Building Training Program for businesses that supply goods and services to chain stores. Mr. Mubanga says the program will address some of the major challenges faced by SMEs in the country. Sarah Miti attended the launch and brought us this report.
Lack of access to market, finance, and business management skills are some of the many challenges that small and medium enterprises in Zambia continue to face in their quest to grow their businesses and effectively contribute to the country's GDP. Government has been deliberate about providing solutions to these challenges and have acknowledged the importance of collaborating with the private sector in this regard. Small and Medium Enterprise Development Minister Elias Mubanga launched the Capacity Building Training Program for SMEs.
It is an initiative aimed at enhancing the ability of SMEs and cooperatives to adequately meet their contractual obligations. Because at times you meet an SME and you ask them their challenges. They would say no market. Choppies, ShopRite, Pick and Pay, and these other chain stores are not getting my products. We need to set a standard. And I'm grateful and I appreciate to see this combination that you do have the market, you do have those that are looking at standards, you have the producers.
A joint program by Choppies and CNC 360 Consulting Limited aimed at enhancing soft and hard skills in SMEs that supply to Choppies. The organizers of the training program, CNC 360 Consulting Limited and Choppies, explained the model for the training program.
Entrepreneurs and SMEs continue to face several challenges, some of which we heard, I think, when we were touring, when the minister went to the exhibition area. Some of the challenges include financing for business, growth, operations, competition from big companies, compliance and lack of business skills. And the business skills can be hard and soft skills. They also lack financial management and marketing skills, among others, to grow their businesses.
We have organizations like this, institutions like this, like CNC 360, as Dr. Lucy said here. The term 360 they're talking about, they think from the 360 angles, 360-degree angles. If that's the way they are thinking, is exactly when Choppies is accepting their invitation, and Choppies said, yes, we are also joining you guys. Let's develop the SMEs.
The minister toured some of the exhibitions by some of the suppliers and other stakeholders as they shared their challenges and expectations from the program.
Projects like these, they need to be supported from where they're at, okay, so that at least they can expand and grow. Because when you're looking at the many different stores that are upcoming, the malls, the supermarkets, they need a lot of these products, whether it's vegetables, fruits, or anything in relation to agriculture, and that's in relation to food.
About 1,000 SMEs are expected to be trained under the program. Sarah Miti for Zanis in Osaka.
Still ahead in the news, Nsama beef farmers appeal for market linkages. Stay tuned.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, Zanis TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
We continue with the news, and in Northern Province, bee farmers in Sama district have appealed to government to help facilitate market linkages for their honey. One of the farmers, Goodson Chungu, says beekeeping business has economic potential to help sustain the livelihoods of people, but does not have market in the district. Daunga Nkoma filed in this report.
These are the beekeepers of Katele and Mukote villages in Sama district, showcasing their honey from the beehives which were given to them by the Lake Tanganyika Development Project. Despite the good harvest and nicely packaged produce, these farmers lack good market to sell their honey and are calling on government to help create market linkage for them. Sama District Commissioner Stewart Katele, who attended the honey field days, assured farmers of government's commitment to look into the matter.
Muli mwesu huku mifuaila market huku akutira mwalashitachishi mwalashitishako ububu uchimule kwatira momu akushita kwa katenge no kushita muka asopo mkwa imirimo yesu ichireka birwa. The
Lake Tanganyika Development Project supported the beekeeping farmers through capacity building and material support.
On one hand, it has potential to improve the livelihoods of the communities in terms of household income. But on the other hand, also, honey farming has the potential to conserve the forests.
The women were not left out of this business. Meanwhile, the Department of Forestry has expressed happiness on the exhibitions.
The community is here to be able to harvest such quantities of honey. It means that they are taking care of the forests. The methods that we are using in beekeeping are not the destructive type. We are using the beehives. So we are not, as we harvest, we are not cutting the forest. We are not cutting down trees.
Taonga Nkoma reporting for Zanis in Sama district.
On the Copperbelt Province, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Mchima has thanked First Quantum Mine for giving out 338 hectares of land to employees who worked for Bonamkubwa Copper Mine in Ndola. Dr. Mchima says the company has demonstrated goodwill by empowering the employees with land. He was speaking during the handover ceremony, which was held at Bonamkubwa Mine. Here is the report.
The First Quantum Minerals has given out part of its Bonamkubwa Mine land to government and employees. First Quantum Minerals country manager handed over the land to government through the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Elijah Muchima, and the employees at Bwanamukubwa mine area.
Any other FQM that exists in Zambia, which has people, it believes in employees first. That's number one. The response which we have as employees to that statement from our employees is this: that we, the employees, believe in First Quantum first.
Dr. Muchima thanked the First Quantum Minerals for empowering the employees.
It's my gratitude to First Quantum Minerals Limited and the Board of Directors for the bold decision taken to gift a land to its employees and to the government. What we commonly know about First Quantum Minerals is the big things it does in Zambia and for the Zambian people. It's a big employer for sure, big taxpayer. At the moment, First Quantum is, we depend, our economy actually is depending on the First Quantum.
Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo notes that the Bwanamukubwa land had a lot of conflicts, and it's good that the First Quantum Minerals has addressed the matter.
My friend, the FB for Bwanamukubwa has labored to explain what we went through when it comes to the land which we are receiving today. People were injured, people were locked up, and several things, ugly things happened. But today I want to thank God Almighty that we have this function where we are now going to receive land.
Bwanamukubwa Constituency Member of Parliament, Wallen Mwambazi, is also happy that land is the best investment to people.
Let's resolve this impasse and move forward to ensure that our people are well saved. But also our people should ensure that they follow the laid out guidelines and also issues to do with the land.
First Quantum Minerals employees representative appreciated the company for honoring them with land.
On behalf of my fellow workers, I would like to start by thanking management for the gracious gift of a residential plot to every one of us.
Land is one of the best gifts in this modern era, and the First Quantum Minerals initiative to give it to employees who help them to have stable lives. Tovini Ngombe, Zanis, Indola.
And in Central Province, over 20 units of the Zambia Army from across the country are in Central Province to compete in the 2023 Inter-Unit Skills at Arms. The event is being hosted by the 2nd Infantry Brigade at the 3rd Infantry Battalion Gallery Range in Kabwe. Details in the following report.
The Zambia Army is the backbone of defense of the nation, which is charged with the responsibility of defending the sovereignty of the nation and serve the people of Zambia with pride. This is the reason why the 2nd Infantry Brigade in Kabwe has held the 2023 Inter-Unit Skill at Arm competition at 3rd Infantry Battalion Gallery Range.
Paramount to achieving our roles is training, and not just training, but first-class training that is responsive to the needs of the current times. Therefore, take this program or this competition that we are starting today with the seriousness it deserves, and as such, I want to urge each one of you here present to put in your level best.
Brigadier General Sepiso Mashanda says skills at arm is paramount in the army.
May I remind you that skills at arms is most paramount aspect of our role, as it ensures that we are capable of handling our small arms with the proficiency required in battle.
Brigadier General Mashanda has since called on the units to observe discipline.
You are being urged to avoid skiving out of camp and also walking by the busy roads where accidents are taking place nearly every hour. Be aware that the nature of this exercise demands all participants to be sober-minded in order to execute what you are here for well. Therefore, no drunkenness should be entertained and late making in camp. You are all encouraged to instill the spirit of comradeship amongst yourselves as competitors in order to achieve our army objective.
Namatama Liwanga reporting for Zanis in Kabwe Central Province.
Luamba District Commissioner Alfred Mundambwa has flagged off the distribution of farming inputs under the Food Security Pack FSP wetland program. The inputs are targeted to benefit over 600 vulnerable farmers in the district. Here is a report.
Government in Luamba District, through the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services, is implementing Food Security Pack wetland sub-program aimed at reducing vulnerability among the poor but viable farmers. In this regard, Luamba District Commissioner Alfred Mandumbwa has flagged off the input distribution under the wetland sub-program.
Giving out the wetland farming inputs to our farmers, and we've encouraged them not to misuse the inputs. Instead, let them be put to good use so that we reduce, one, the poverty that is among us in the area, two, so that we have enough food in our households. The 600 farmers have benefited from these wetland farming inputs.
Luamba District Community Development Officer Rafael Malumo said providing farming inputs under wetland sub-program will enhance food nutrition and income security at household and community level.
This is a purely government program targeting the vulnerable but viable farmers. The intention is to uplift the living standards of the poor but vulnerable, and also to ensure that there is food security at household level.
And farmers in the district have commended government for promoting agricultural production among the poor and vulnerable but viable households through the Food Security Pack.
Meza njikusimukiyako kuvize vitu namono twasansera kumuso kubiyongola byawo bibali na kulinga kaha anjengi tunatambwile mwaka wali kumundele owakundonga nganji nezi vile amba ngaba njilekele kenganja pande njimwese na chimweso.
Reporting for Zanis News, I'm Jorwe Himambo in Luamba District, Western Province.
And on a sad note, a 32-year-old illegal miner has died after the earth collapsed on him while mining copper ore at the old Muliashi South mine in Wansha District. The deceased, who was in the company of 12 other illegal miners, were moving the ore from the trench to the surface when the earth collapsed, burying him alive. The deceased, who has been identified as Goodson Malama, 32, of Ndeke Township in Kitwe, is suspected to have died of suffocation and internal injuries yesterday around 15 hours. Both Copper Belt Police Commissioner Piswo Mwemba and CNN Luansha Copper Mine Public Relations Officer Sidney Chilea have confirmed the incidents to Zanis in Luansha. The body was retrieved by his colleagues, who rushed him to the clinic where he was pronounced dead. That sad note brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of stories that made headlines. 4 South hospitals in medical equipment boost. Lundazi Bridge construction completed. Nsama beef farmers appeal for market linkages. And Luamba District receives farming inputs. That's all we could package for you on this bulletin. On behalf of the entire production and newsroom crew, this has been Michelle Rubinda. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, it's bye-bye and God bless.